please. Oh, big hands. I won't do that again. It is Susie Ashworth here, mindset and marketing mentor, founder of the Calm Birth School and the Baby Business School. And I wanted to hop on quickly before the kids get home, just to share with you some of the thoughts and things that have been coming up for me over the last couple of days. Please feel free to say hello. I see a couple of you have popped on. Hi. Oh, hey, gorgeous. So yeah, look, I went to a course yesterday in Birmingham. It took me hours to get there and hours to get back. I think my day started at 5 and I got into bed at 11:30. And it was really eye-opening for me. It was called the Awakened Birthkeeper course, and hey Sophie, it's with an amazing woman called Jane Jennings. Hey Liz, I hope you had a good birthday yesterday. I'm just talking about the course that I did with Jane and some of the stuff that's already come up from it. And the reason that Jane was appealing to me and stuff, yeah, and that kind of why we reached out to her is because her messaging is so authentic and from the heart. She is a little bit woo, a little bit cray-cray to the mainstream, but her words really, really kind of resonate with me. She talks from a real place of power, and so even though she is saying quite radical things that some people I'm sure would be a bit like, completely not on my level, for me, anybody that can speak with that much truth, I'm not even really concerned so much about what they're teaching, but I just want to be in that energy. And as it so happens, Jane is teaching about birth and preconception and souls kind of choosing their parents and all of that kind of thing. And so yesterday I went to learn more about her teachings, and one of the things that immediately struck me about her was just how calm she is and how peaceful she is and how grounded she is. And when you're in that kind of energy, what it does is create space for you to find where it is that you need to be. It creates space for you to think and for you to feel. And I think that one of the things that has been coming up for me again and again recently is, as my business evolves, I need to give myself more space to not only feel into exactly where it is I'm being pulled to, but also just generally, like as a human being, the more space I can give myself to ground myself and not be so responsive all of the time, I feel like the more beautiful things are going to come up, and the more I'm going to be able to share from a place of power with you guys, whatever it is I feel called to share. And I think that one of the big things that was really just hammered home, hey Leah, hey Alison, hi Susie, sorry I missed who you were talking about. I'm talking about Jane Jennings. So if you don't know her, check her out. She's amazing. And yeah, I think you'd be quite into her actually, Alison. So one of the things that kind of keeps coming up for me just generally at the moment is, well, one of the questions I keep asking my clients is, who is it that you want to be? And what do you need to do to expand into that wider version of yourself, that bigger, better version of what it is that you want to achieve? And whilst some parts of me feel a little bit resistant in saying the better version of you, because I don't want anybody to feel that they're not good enough right now, but I think that the whole point about goals, the whole point about visions, is that you have to stretch into them, right? You have to expand into them. If you didn't need to grow to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, I kind of feel like you'd already be doing it. Alison just saying, I love her, I trained with, yeah, she is fab. Yeah, I knew you would like her. So I've been thinking about my goals and my mission and how it is I want to work with people, and I've just been asking myself, like, why is it that I'm not there yet? And part of it is just sometimes we have to go through a process, right? So my trajectory has been very quick. I would say a little bit of an anomaly. So some of it is just time. You have to kind of feel into what it is that you want to do before you know, before you can get there. So part of it is that, but the other part of it is just permission. You know, permission. So I gave myself permission on Saturday or Sunday on the train on the way up to write probably the most political post that I've ever written, and I gave myself permission to put it onto my personal page. And that was a really big deal for me because I don't do politics as such, as as much as anybody can't do it. And it felt very exposing to be sharing myself in that way, but I gave myself permission to do that because the person who I want to be creates impact and talks authentically and talks from the heart about the things that are on her mind. And so to have this playing on my mind about everything that I'm seeing in people's news feeds and to not share about that felt out of alignment. It felt incongruent with who it is that I want to become. So I wrote this post and I posted it on my Facebook page. And I posted it and then I kind of took a deep breath and it was a bit like, and it was like, it's just, I gave myself permission to just do me and be me. And actually the response was really lovely, and I think that the people, because of the people that I surround myself with, the people that don't agree with that chose not to comment on it, and the people that kind of it was a little bit abrasive for, they shared with respect and with heart, so I didn't feel intimidated, and it all worked out really well. And I think that, I suppose that's the message, that often when we give ourselves permission to just be who it is that we want to be, actually things work out really well, even if we go through a tough period to start with. Because I think that when we decide we want to be entrepreneurs, often that first bit, we give ourselves permission to do it and then it's really fucking shit. And then we worry that we've made the right decision. But that again is also part of the process. So I invite you to, again, look at who it is you want to be and where are you holding back? Where are you not giving yourself permission to go all in and full out? And where can you today take one step closer to moving into that bigger vision of you? This also really ties in from an email that I had through from one of the baby business schoolers today, about all of the conversation around the law of attraction and what's worked for her and what hasn't worked for her. And I think I do say this, but maybe I don't say it enough. Like, I have not got all of the answers by any stretch of the imagination. And I am literally just sharing about the stuff that has worked for me, that I have used over the last couple of years when it comes to business, but since I was 19 when it comes to law of attraction and self-development. And some of that stuff will resonate with you guys and some of it won't resonate with you. And I really want to say that it's not hurtful to me if not everything that I say resonates with you. And give yourself permission to take what works and to ignore the rest. And the only thing that I invite you to do is, and it's exactly what I do for myself, is, if I'm trying to get a result and it's not working using the techniques, the skills, the whatever it is, the strategies that I'm using, then I try and do it a different way. And I try to connect myself to people who are doing stuff that works for them, and I take what feels good for me and I leave the rest. Like, there are so many different ways to reach a single goal, and I do not think that there is only one way, and I do not think that I'm the only person with the answers. I 100% believe that the majority of the time, particularly when it comes to stuff like confidence, particularly when it comes to kind of less technical skills and things that we need to learn, that we do have the answers within. And the reason I work with coaches and mentors and surround myself with people who are, you know, on a different level to me, so on the next level, is because quite often those types of people have questions that they ask me that trigger a thought process which allows me to access the answer that's already there. So, you know, Tony Robbins says, I'm not your guru, and, you know, I completely get where he's coming from. Like, you don't, the answers are within you, and you definitely don't have to take everything that I say as the law. It's just the stuff that's worked for me, and I know that it works for a lot of you, but some of it is not going to resonate. And don't try to force yourself into making anything work. If you have to force yourself, then generally there's another path for you. Does that make sense, my darlings? So yeah, that's it really. Today is about permission. Actually, I'm going to share with you just something that is going on in terms of the way that I am working with people. And also, again, this came out of the course, which was all about birth. But I feel is deeply connected to the work that I am doing and formulating around messaging. And what I know to be true is that my message is going to become so much clearer the more that I look after my mind, my body, my spirituality, and my business. It's all connected. And I think particularly when we first go out, so I know that most of you kind of get that, you're into the mindset stuff. But I feel for me, what's going to be happening over the next few months is just to see how I can deepen that practice outside of the business. So deepen my mindset practice, deepen my self-care, deepen nourishing the spiritual and emotional side of things, so that my business can blossom. And I'm going to be sharing all of that stuff with my new group clients, and also, you know, my private mentoring clients. That is, you know, what we're going to be working on. So it's not just how to build an online course or how to, you know, get a six-figure business. You know, it is going to be about how to create really, really deep messages by connecting deeply with yourself. I think that the more that you can connect deeply with yourself, the easier it becomes to connect to other people. And so it can't just be about the business. It has to be, you know, the emotional, the nourishment of yourself physically and emotionally, as well as the business side of things. So it feels very exciting. I don't exactly know how it's all going to play out, but it feels really, really good. So I look forward to continuing to share, you know, what's going on and the evolution. I give myself permission to share at will. Okay, my lovelies, that is it for me today. I hope that you are all well. Au revoir. And yeah, the task for you is to just identify, where are you holding back? Where's your resistance? Where can you step just one step closer into that bigger vision of yourself? Where can you give yourself permission to do that? Okay. Enjoy. Laters.